So good afternoon, everybody. It seems I'm the last person standing between you and lunch. So I'm going to try to be brief. We say we like to take good care of our customers. And I think taking good care of your customers also means not making them wait for lunch for a long time when they're hungry and it's lunchtime, right? So I'm not going to go into nitty-gritties of bits and bytes. That's something we do in our office. We do all that mud wrestling. Just some things about the banking sector and how technology applies there. Now, as you all know, Quick Heal is in the security business. So we don't, so our job mainly is to keep you and your operations safe. So let me just give you some basic statistics. So the last 12 months, the total financial loss was 24,000 crores. And then there are a bunch of other statistics you can see about how much of a hassle it is for people to recover from that and how much productivity loss there was. If you look at the distribution of cyber attacks by sector, what you will see is the BFSI sector has been the one that's most affected. Oops. Okay. Hopefully this won't crash and will let me continue. The BFSI sector is the one that's most affected, and this reminds me of a 150-year-old story. Back in the wild, wild American West, there was a bank robber who used to keep robbing banks. Of course, those days there was no cyber thing, right? So what he used to do is go to a bank with gun and point the gun at the cashier and say, "Give me all your money," right? Then take the money and flee. So eventually, the police caught him. And some guy asked him, some police inspector asked him, "Why do you keep robbing the banks?" And his answer was, "Because that's where the money is." No, you're all banks. You are all the people that have the money. That's why you're being attacked. Next year, or rather this year, 2015, we expect that we will have more than 3 lakh cybercrime incidences in India. And if I can get this computer to work, we can do the rest of the presentation. Maybe this computer wants you to have an early lunch. I don't know. So, can you please help? Okay, let's continue. So, I pressed the same key again, nothing happened. I pressed it like 4 times, it didn't do anything. I hope this PC is not infected by viruses. Do you have Quick Heal on this PC? This won't have happened if you did. Okay, so we had Charaigavkar sir here, and he spoke very eloquently about Dudhari Shastra, right? Double-edged sword, as we call it. So our view is the same. Okay, technology can be a boon or it can be a bane. It's a question of how you use it. We as a company, our goal is to, जे दुसरी भाग असते तलवारीची, जी बेन असते, जे शस्त्र, जी धार आपल्याला त्रास देते, ती धार घालवायची. This is what we do. What we try to do is to prevent that talwar from hurting you and let it go conquer your enemies or conquer your battles. So that is our main goal here. I won't go into all the lists of cyber. There are different types of cyber threats, and we all know that viruses, spam mails, malware, etc., etc. And some of the challenges we are facing are, number one, tracking the origin of the crime. There is way too much pirated software being used in the world. I think it's a very, very big challenge because pirated software is one great way for people to get into your computers and do all sorts of things that they shouldn't be doing. And then there is also a very big shortage of skilled cybercrime fighters. Not too long ago, we met with the person who is the head of cybercrime unit in Pune Police. We are cooperating with them as a company. there was a very knowledgeable gentleman who is in charge of Pune Police Cybercrime Cell, and we were very impressed when we met him. But one of the problems, and the Commissioner of Police was also there with him, and we had a broader discussion than just Pune local area things. And one of the things he said to us was, we really need to do this all across Maharashtra, and of course that can be extrapolated very easily to other parts of India. But availability of good crime fighters, cyber crime fighters, is a very big issue. I'll quickly go over this 5 points of vulnerability. Where are your IT systems vulnerable? Number one, if you look at the top, and I'm going to go clockwise from there, so there is endpoint security for data protection. Every PC needs to be protected. And our EPS product, our antivirus products, they keep your PC safe, and they let you manage your PCs from a central location. You have a big fat pipe, whether you are doing business via some sort of a cloud platform, or whether you have your own products in-house, or whatever way you do it. All of us have a big fat internet pipe coming into our facilities, right? There is all kinds of data coming in, all kinds of data going out. How do you monitor that? You need a gatekeeper. You need a security guard that will make sure that only those people, just that the CCTV camera thing we just talked about, right? I mean, you're monitoring people going in, coming in, going out, etc. Similarly, you need to watch the data. And then most of you have multiple offices. There are very few banks out there that has just one office in the world, right? There is data going back and forth between these offices, which means there is another place where people can tap in and do funny things. So you also need that pipe, or those pipes rather, to be protected. Now you have all kinds of things happening lately, all sorts of secure online gateways and all kinds of mobile, credit card transactions, all those types of things. All of those need to be protected. And finally, inside your company, you have all your vital data. And that data, so we talk a lot about external threats. When you talk to people about cyber security, we will get all sorts of things being discussed about external threats to your company. You also have a possibility of internal threats. You have to make sure there is no malicious employee inside your company who is sending your vital data outside. And that is the DLP solution, data loss prevention. Top security risks, mobile banking is increasing in adoption. Everybody is targeting. All the cyber criminals right now are just salivating at the thought of mobile banking. Phishing attacks, directing you through fake sites, having emails that contain viruses where you will open and then you will, bad things will happen to you. Targeted attacks on banks themselves. I mean, people are getting more and more sophisticated. This game is no longer about some hacker trying to steal 500 rupees from my bank account, folks. This game now is about some targeted attacks. People who will go into your bank and clean out your entire bank. That is the kind of stuff people are aiming for now. And Internet of Things, right? So until now, we only had computers and computers. Now, all of a sudden, there will be a microchip inside your fridge. There will be a microchip inside your air conditioning. And that will be capable of doing things, okay? And so that is another point of infiltration where people could actually use that against you. And how to counter security risks. So we work with a lot of SMB type of organizations, including banks. And one thing we see all the time is that the smaller organizations do not have the capability to go out and hire like CISOs, right? If you go into ICICI Bank probably has a Chief Information Security Officer and a large organization working with him to manage the security of ICICI Bank. One possibility I would urge all of you to consider is to cooperate with each other, because you're all facing very similar challenges. And maybe put together your heads and your resources, and maybe you can come up with some sort of a collaborative solution to keep each other safe. Investment in security equipment and software is an absolute must. Once there is a breach, then your reputation is gone. And then our MC here said a beautiful poem earlier. And that poem and the last speaker's discussion reminded me of Doha, right? Ab pachtaye ka hot jab chidiya chug gayi khet. Educate your customers. This is very important. Okay, your customers, if they are not educated, they could do funny things that will create trouble for you. If your customers are well educated, they are your partners in maintaining your security. Enroll your customers as your partners. Educate them, use their knowledge and expertise and everything they have, use the way they do business to keep your bank safe. And actively monitor threats. Not just external, but internal. Like I said earlier, use the DLP solution. So we are not going to go into all sorts of details here, just one example of what it means to deal with the increasing mobile banking security threats. Number one, use official applications. If you're a bank, you have your own application, maybe there is some other way of getting into your bank and doing some transactions. Avoid those types of things. Avoid using banking apps when you're on public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi offers no security. You can easily tap into the signal and try to figure out what data is going back and forth. Avoid links and attachment. Links and attachment are the best way to get people into trouble, the best way to breach somebody's security infrastructure. Always log out. After you're done with whatever you're doing, don't leave the thing open. Never store banking information on your phone. Secure your phone with a password and use some sort of a mobile app, a mobile security app that's from a reputed vendor. So this is an example of the kinds of things you can do to educate your customers on various types of things they need to do. We have more than 300 banks in India, cooperative banks as our customers. We have more than 15 Maharashtra alone. What did we learn? They require proactive, flexible and prompt support from us. So we have our processes, we can do things in a process-driven way, but when a customer comes to us, we first take care of the customer. The process is there to help the customer. The process is not there to stop the customer from getting the help he needs. We talked about this earlier. Smaller organizations have cost pressures, availability of resources. If you're a bank in Pune, it's very easy to hire some people. Okay. If you're a bank in Nanded or you're a bank in Beed or Latur or not just in Maharashtra, any part of the country, it's a hell of a lot harder to hire a security professional. So we do all sorts of things, provide them help with initial installations, make the upgrade processes as easy as possible, provide them technical training, try to manage things from a centralized, there are a whole bunch of things. And many others that I have not mentioned here. And connectivity is a very big issue. What should not happen is if your connectivity goes down, your business has come to a grinding halt. And DLP. Thank you very much.